Yes.
Perfect. So we have been discussing on the operating system in last classes, right? So we discussed a little bit about what is the Linux operating system and what are the directory structures we have, and we also covered a bit of the commands as well. So all the user commands, right? So we are going to cover more commands today, and the commands will be here. We already have it. So let me launch the machine. Machine is just launched. I think this screen is better. So I just connected, right? So if you guys can remember, what are all the commands we have covered in last class? Did we discuss the ch mode? I think I remember covering still tail. Did we
Yeah.
discuss the ch mode?
No.
No, right? Yeah. So in Windows machine, so we have like a files and folders, right? We all know that. And if you have worked on an admin side, you may also have seen the properties of the file going into security, advanced, and adding some people access to those file systems, right? So in Linux, we also have a same concept here, but it will be a bit different. So if I create a directory here, okay, and if I go inside a directory and I create a file abc.txt, and if I do ls-l a. So this is going to give me the properties of the file, right? It is going to give you who is the owner, and this owner belong to which group, and the size, and when it is last modified. And then you see these are all the permissions. So every file and a folder, sorry, directory contains the permissions. What are these permissions? You basically see three types of permissions. One is read, second one is write, and the third one is X, means execute. So basically you just have only three permissions: read, write, execute. And then you are going to assign those privileges to the users. How you are going to manage it. So let's say this entire Linux machine is a family. Okay. Assume it's entire a home. Okay. So now the property owner, like parents, mom and dad, will have full access to all the rooms, right? And then we have a child. Again, child's also part of our house. They will also have access to all the rooms, but there are some private rooms that they cannot enter. They have some restrictions. That is fine because they're all one group. And the other part, which are completely a guest. Can guest visit all the rooms without permissions? No, right? Because we have restricted. That's what the permissions here as well. So if you look at the first permission here, this identifies what type of file it is. Is it like a directory or a regular file or like a link file? And the next three permissions that talks about privileges to the owner of this file. So how you can identify the owner of the file? By looking at this one. So EC2 user is the owner of this file and he has these permissions: read, write, and there is no execute permission. And the next three positions belongs to group. Group means people in the house. So they also have read and write, and this indicates the group. Okay, RWX. And the next three permissions belongs to others. I mean a guest. So they have just only read permissions. They don't have write. They don't have execute permissions.
Excuse
This
me,
is what.
Lokesh.
Mhm.
I'm not seeing anything in my screen. Can you please share your screen?
I am sharing. Can you just rejoin?
Okay.
Others seeing my screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is what the file permissions are. Okay. Now, how am I going to manage the file permissions? Okay, there is a command called chmod. Chmod is modifying permissions. Okay, so what permissions I need to use now here is So I wanted to grant user who is easy to user. So I will mention you. I want to grant privileges. Then I'll be using plus. Which permissions you want to grant? If you want to grant read permissions, you will give R. If you get to grant write permissions, you put W. If you want to grant execute, you put X. So X is missing here, right? Then I am going to give X permissions. What is the file name? abc.txt. abc.txt. See, there is no error. If I do ls minus L now you see X got added. Before it was not there. Now this also got changed. It got changed to execute green. That's what how you manage the permissions. So if you think this file is a private and you don't want your group to write anything, write means edit the file, then you can remove it. How you can remove? Same command, chmod. Now you are working on the group. You put G. You want to remove minus. Which permission you want to remove? Write W. Which file? abc.txt. If we do ls minus L now, you see before it was rw dash, now it's just R. So this is how you restrict the permissions. So if you talk about a company scenario, the your real-time use case, so you have HR department and you have your finance department and you have your sales department, right? You have these many departments in your company. So people from HR will be having access to only HR related directories and the files, and the people from finance the same. So now whenever a person joins, by default, he will have his own user account and his own group. If you wanted to combine people together, then we need to create a group and then add people to those groups. Then whenever a person part of one group, then these privileges will be applied to all the people in that group. We will see this in advance. Okay, we'll create a user, we'll assign and everything. Okay, so now let me go ahead. I went into the time directory. I'm going to create a file called my secrets.txt. Okay, then I'm going to add my secrets here, like key. Maybe I will add like a database password is equal to something. This is my database password I have added here. Okay, so I consider this file is secret. Okay, then I am going to make the permissions change. Chmod g minus w my secrets.txt. I have removed the write permissions for group. Now let me go ahead and create a user account. This is how you create the user account. Sudo user add. Okay, I am using sudo command here. Sudo means it's a super privileges. So user add is a command belongs to admin. Admin means the root. So now I am part of EC2 user, so I cannot create the users. So if I try to do the user add command, it throws me error because I don't have permissions. So to do that, we need to use a sudo. Sudo means I am getting more powers. Okay, more powers. I have become a root now. I'm creating a user called test user. See, it got created. So if you want to see that there is a file called cat etc passwd. So this file contains all the users in the system. Okay, now I cat this file. You see, we have these many users. Some of the users are actually with has a shell. Some users doesn't have any shell. Some accounts are like a system accounts. They're all you can ignore. The only thing you need to focus is this root account, and then the EC2 user that gets created during machine spin up, and this is a user that we just created. And you see, this is the where the user will be going to work. This is called the home directory of the user. Now I have a 3 users. I know root, I know EC2 user is a new user. Now let me switch to this user mode. I am just changing my profile. To do that, what I need to do, I need to use sudo su hyphen test user. See, now I became test user. The command is sudo su space minus test user. Okay. If I do, who am I? Test user. Okay. Where am I? In my home directory. But I have created the file in /tmp, right? I went to /tmp. Now you see my secrets file is owned by EC2 user and the group also EC2 user. And who am I now? Test user. So neither I am the owner of this file because this is owned by EC2 user. Neither I am part of EC2 user group. So me, who is a test user, fall under others category. So others means these privileges are applied to my profile. So I will be having just only read privileges. I can max read this. If I want to edit this, let me say I want to delete this file. Operation not permitted because I don't have privileges. Even though if you try to override something, let's say I wanted to add some data. This is a hack. If I try to save, it says read only option is set. I cannot file for writing. You see, that's what the I'm just quitting it protection. Okay, so now let's talk about the groups. Okay, now we are all about the groups. So I'm going to create a new group. I'll exit from the test user, sudo group add, let's say HR. I'm creating a HR group. HR group is created. Now I'm going to join my EC2 user and test user part of this HR group. Okay, to do that, sudo, we need to use command called user mod, modify the user, minus a, append, minus g, I'm adding the group, which group? HR group, who is the user? EC2 user. I added this user to group HR. Now do the same command for test user also. So now EC2 user and test user part of the HR group. Okay. Now I am going to modify the file permissions of this file. Okay. chown, that is called change ownership is a command. Okay. Owner still EC2 user colon, and then we need to give the group name. So the group name which I created is HR my secrets.txt. It says permission not permitted because I'm not allowed to execute this command. I'll rather use a sudo. Done. If you do ls minus l now, it has changed. So my secret EC2 user and the HR. So this is owned by EC2 user and this group belongs to my HR people. In HR, I have two users, right? Now let me go ahead again, switch to the test user. Test user, sorry, right? I go to /tmp, I do ls minus l. Now I am part of the HR. I will be getting these privileges because test user is now part of the HR group. So group privileges are these three. I just have now read again still. So let me see if I can edit this. No, see, I'm getting some read-only file edit error here. Okay, I'll come back. Okay, I take an exit from here. Now let me change the permissions of this. I'm going to give write permissions to this file. What is the command? chmod. How you grant write privileges?
W.
Exactly, G+W, my secrets. So if I do, I have my secret write permissions for HR. Now, again, switch back to test user, go to /tmp. Now try to edit the file. Oh, see, updated by test user. See, now I can able to save successfully. Why? Because I am part of HR group and HR has the write privileges. So if you cat this file, you have this text as well. That is how you manage the ownership and the group and the others privileges. Okay, so we covered chown, user add, user mod, right? So you will be definitely doing this in your regular basis. That's what it is. Now generally we don't execute the commands like u plus x, r plus x, sorry, g plus x and all. We always use the octal model. What is octal model that we execute here? Okay, so as I told you, we have like a three permissions, right? Which is a read, write, and execute. So read, write, and then execute. Okay, so as per the octal number, this will be considered at 2 power 0. This is like 2 power 1. This is like 2 power 2. So if you are good at maths, 2 power 0 is always 1. 2 power 1 is equal to 2. 2 power 2 means 2 times 2, which is 4. So this is how we identify the read, write, execute permissions. Okay, so if I wanted to grant a permissions to a file, so I want a user to have read, write, execute. Okay, so we have like file, read, write, execute, read, write, and then dash, and then read dash dash. If you see this as a file permissions, then read write x means it has all the permissions. So you need to sum these numbers. So 4 plus 2 plus 1, which is equal to 7. Now next positions. So here we have just only read and write. So there is no execute. So read and write is 4 plus 2, 6. And here just read. Read means 4. So if you want to assign a file these privileges, then the command will be chmod 764. 7 means user get full privileges, group gets read and write, others get just read privileges. This is how we work on. Now let's say someone told you to give 755 privileges. They say 755. So what does it mean? So first number indicates for the owner, right? 7 means 4 plus 2 plus 1. Am I right? They have got full privileges. Now I have a 5 here. 5 means only read and execute. So read, no write, execute. Same 5. Read, no write, execute. So these file permissions you mostly see for all of the files, because people can read, people can execute, but they cannot write or delete. Only the owner can do that. If someone say give 700, what it means? Can someone tell me? 7 for what?
For the owner,
So what privilege they get?
read, write, and execute. But
Exactly.
for the group, 0 means only read, and
No permissions at all. No
and then
permissions at all.
any user cannot make any changes. 0, the other
Ex
0, any user.
exactly. So you
Mhm.
will have like this. So it means only owner can read, owner can write, owner can. This is like a locker. So you have a house, you have a locker. So who will open the locker? Of course, only the owner. You don't even let your kids, you don't even let your guest do anything, right? They don't even allowed to read it because they may know how much money you have in your locker, right? That's what we have these privileges. Okay, so you guys clear? Now let's go ahead and change the permissions very quickly. Now let me create a file element.txt. Okay, I wanted to change only user owner can read this. So it will be chmod 700 and then element.txt. If you say element as L, see you have all privileges are gone. If you want to grant something, if you want to give a group a read privileges, chmod user should have, owner should have 7, group just read only, others 0, no permissions, element.txt. You see, only now group has got right. So this is called the octal number. This is how we generally use. So if you work on any programming languages, if you want to use in Ansible, you always use these commands like 740, 600, 700, 755, 777. 777 means full privileges. It's like a open. Anybody can read it. Anybody can write it. We call them full privileges. Chmod 777 element.txt. See, full privileges. This is generally not recommended unless it is needed. Okay, this is what it is. But
How do you get 6 as an octal number?
sorry,
How do you get 6 as an octal number? 666.
4 plus 2, read and write.
Okay.
Read, write, read, write, read, write. Okay. So if you have a directory, let's say my directory here, okay, then I'm moving all my element.txt to a test directory. Okay, so if you want to apply the permissions to this directory and all the directories inside this directory, then we need to use an option called -r. -r means recursive. Whatever permissions you are applying, that will be applicable to all the files and directories inside this directory. Okay, that's what the -r is used for. See, the test has got changed. If I do here inside test, the same applied here as well. -r means recursive. You will be doing this to apply for all the files and all the directories inside the root directory. Okay, that's what the -r is used for. Okay, so chmod, chown, user add, group add we covered. Now let's go jump on to identify some of the main commands. Okay, so if you wanted to see the memory, okay, let me quit out of this guy here. Okay, so if you wanted to see a memory usage, the command will be free -h. So free -h is going to give you the memory information that is available in your system. So -h is human readable format. So you have a total memory allotted is 801 megabytes, and then used 131, free 210, shared, and then buffer cache. This is much is available for you. So if you observe carefully, you have 801, which is good, but only this much is used. So in that case, how much it should be available? Around 600 something, right? But it's showing only 540. The reason behind is the remaining goes to buffer and cache. The buffer and cache means, so now you are able to quickly jump to different file system, right? The reason behind is, so whatever commands you execute, whatever directories you use, the Linux caches it if there is a memory available. If other applications trying to run and consume memory, then the buffer cache will be released automatically. Okay, if memory is available, then cache will be higher. If the memory as you install the applications as it's being consumed, the cache will be reduced. It will allot it to the applications. Okay, that's what the free -h command is. And we also know head command, we also know tail command, right? Head is going to give me the top few lines of a file. Tail is going to give me bottom few lines of a file. Now, if you wanted to use these two commands and get the proper information from this, we can also do it. Now, let's say I just want how much is used, not all this crap. I just want to know how much is used. I want to extract this line. So it means I have 1, 2, 3 lines, right? And then I just wanted to first read 2 lines, then I'm eliminating this line. And then I'm going to read last line. So like this. So if I do free -h, I'm getting this. I do free -h, pipe, head -2. So I'm not sure we discussed the pipe. Pipe here is like a operator, whatever command you execute here. So this output becomes an input to this command. Okay, if you observe carefully. So what do we need? So head -2 needs a file, right? But okay, my secret. So head command needs a file as an input, right? So rather than I'm giving an input here, I am redirecting this command's output. So this output will become an input to this command. So head -2 will be performed on this. So head -2 means it has two lines, three lines, 1, 2, 3. So when I say -2, it is going to read only these two lines. Okay, so head -2 pipe, and then, oh, sorry, my bad. It's a free -h head -2. See, it cut the swap memory, right? Now in this output, now I just want to read the last line. So I don't want the headers. So in that case, same command, I add one more pipe. I say tail -1. See, I just got the command, the information which I'm needed. The free -h giving me 3 lines, and then I used a pipe symbol and then head -2. So this command's output has become an input to this command. Now this give me what it does. It is just going to extract top 2 lines. So it got top 2 lines for me. Now again, I use one more pipe. So free -h head -2. This is the output, and this output is becoming now input to this command. So what did this command do? Tail -f, tail -1. So just take the last line. The last line will be read. What is this? Is the last line. So it has printed. Again, if you want to further work on it, then you can also use one more pipe. It means now this output becoming an input to what command? I'm going to use like a awk. Okay, I'm going to print dollar. Let's say I want to print 1. What does this awk command do? Oh, sorry, $2. So awk command is a command that will help you to identify, divide, whatever data you have. It uses some delimiter and cut your string. So if you don't use any delimiter, it will assume the space are the equal length. So this mem is a first column, which is $1. This is the second column, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. So awk is going to look for the position and then prints it. I want $2 positions to be printed. $2 is this 80 mem. You see, this is what the commands and the pipe we use it. So pipe means you use it in so many ways. So if I want to I have like ls minus latr, I have n number of files. I wanted to only look for the files that actually has a .txt. So what you can do, ls minus latr, you can use the pipe, and so this command's output, what is this, becomes input to the next command. So I am going to grep for it. Grep means it is like a identifying the file. I want to grep in a txt. So it is going to grep the txt for me. There is a one file. When I do ls minus latr, it's a huge list. When I do this command, it is just giving me only one output. So it is finding the txt word in this and printing me that line only. That is what the pipe symbol is used for. You use it in so many cases, pipe symbols. Okay. So now you can also do like this as well, like star.txt, ls minus latr star.txt. It is going to only give you match any name here, but the file should be ended with .txt. You see, ending with .txt. So it can match any character. That's what the star is used for here. Okay, you can also do like this. It means you can have any character starting, you can have any characters ending, but in between somewhere there should be .txt. This is what the file pattern is. Okay, if I create a new file abc.txt1. Okay, and then if I execute this command, it gives me only 1. But if I execute this command, it gives me 2. The difference between this and this is what I'm saying, it can match any, but should end with .txt. So should end with .txt, which is successful. So this is not, this has .txt, but there is one more character is there, 1. It is not ending with .txt, rather it is ending with .txt1. However, in this command, I said you can have any character starting at the end. See, any character starting at the end. That's what the star you can also use, wildcard. And then, so whenever your system goes wrong, someone says that, hey, my application is completely down, it is not coming up. My application performing is very slow. What should I do? The first command a Linux administrator or the DevOps engineer do is the top. Top is going to give you all the processes that are running inside the machine. It's like a first troubleshooting command I would highly recommend for everyone to remember and execute. So top is going to give you how many tasks are currently running. You have how many is running, how many are sleeping. Okay, you can see the zombie processes. You can also see load average. So load average should be always 1. It shouldn't be more than 1. Okay, and then how much CPU is being consumed and what is the memory information also. Okay, and this below information gives you the running processes. The running processes means, so these processes are currently running in the server. So if you see any process, CPU percentage, memory percentage taking huge, like 50%, 70%, 80%, then that corresponding process has a problem. You see process ID. And then what we do, we identify that process ID, and then we try to troubleshoot. Is this belongs to an application that is running in this server? If yes, then you verify the application logs. Then you see if there is any issue over there. If it is there, then you try to work with the application development team, or if they recommend, you can restart the process. Sometimes what happens, the memory leaks happen with the application. Then maybe application is trying to look for a file doesn't exist. It is keep on creating the loop continuously, and maybe it is not releasing the memory. It is causing unnecessary CPU exhaust, right? There are so many cases. So top is a command, it give you all the details. If you want to come out, Q is a quit. Okay, so let's see, create one sample command. Okay, so maybe I'll open up a, okay, sleep 10. So sleep is a command that we use to sleep the process for these many seconds. If I say 2 seconds, it will wait for 2 seconds and then dies. If I say 10 seconds, it runs for 10 seconds and then after it dies. Okay, so you see, whenever you execute the command, you are blocked. You cannot do anything, right? If you want to send this command in the background, you need to do sleep 100 and will send that command to backend and you'll get your console back. So if you do top here, you see sleep command is also running, but there are so many processes you cannot see it, right? We can use the grep command here. Okay, top grep. I'm not sure if it works or not. Let's try. Yeah, see, no, this is not showing. The process might have died. So to see all the processes, we can check this command. Yeah, sleep is still running. So ps is a command that we see to see how many processes are running. Just ps gives you only the processes that are running on your terminal. So we have the sleep command, right? So that's why it is showing on this terminal, these processes are running. Okay, so if you want to see all the processes that are running in the server, because many people log into the machines and they execute their own commands, right? So to that, the option will be ps minus ef. This is going to give you all the processes that are running in the VM. So there are some processes must be up and running, then only you would be able to do your stuff. For example, let me grep in this to I'm looking for a particular string ssh-d, and you see this is the process ssh-d process. Okay, it has to be running, then only you should be able to log into your machine. If it is not running, then you cannot ssh into the box. Okay, so there are some processes should be running long. Okay, so now since we're talking about processes, let's know the difference between a process and a service. The process is simple. Whenever you execute a command, in behind it creates a process, and every process will have a process ID. If that process ID has run another command, then you will have like a parent process ID and the process ID. Clear? So let's say I have like a shell script a.sh a.sh. So I'm going to write a simple shell command. Okay, this is going to like a hello world, and then I'm going to put a sleep 100 here, and then I'm saving it. Okay, if I run sh a.sh, it is going to execute my shell script. That is one process. So whenever you execute the shell script, it is again executed this command, another process, this command, another process. So this both will have a process ID. My shell script will have a process ID, let's say 123, and that process ID invoked this process ID. It has 124. So now you will see 124's parent is 123. This is how the process ID links gets formed. Okay, so every process will be running, and then the moment the command got executed, it dies, the process gets completed. The process will have many written codes. If the written code is 0, it means it has executed successfully. If it is not 0, then it has failed or corrupted or something has happened. That we'll discuss in detail as well later when start on the batch scripting. Okay, so now I have this written codes and all. If a process is never ending, so generally if you execute a command ls, it also starts a process. You cannot see process ID because it is very short, milliseconds. So if I do same sleep like 10, I can see this process ID for 10 seconds. After that, this also dies. But if you look at the ssh-d here, it has been running for a long time. Why? Because it has to be running all the time so that it can accept the incoming requests. Let's talk about website also, amazon.com, facebook.com. So you never see them down. Why? Because they start a process, that process is up so that your Facebook, amazon.com is accessible. The moment process dies, you cannot access your amazon.com, facebook.com, right? So there are some processes should be running long, and then we call them service. The long running processes we call typically a service. Okay, so now I can say this ssh-d is a service because it's a long running process. So we can see it here. You see, the one is a root process ID, and then the 1131 is the process ID of this. See, 1131 parent process ID, process ID. See, so one is a root process ID that has triggered 1131, and then 1131 has triggered 4780, and then 4780 triggered 4794. You see all the links. So if I kill this guy, parent, if the parent dies, then all the childs die. In some cases, the childs won't die. It may not get the instructions from the parent process saying that, hey, I'm dying, you also die. Then what happens? This process will be running long because it has to be either it has to die by itself or the parent needs to send a signal to die. If it doesn't happen in both cases, then this process runs long forever. We call them zombie processes. Zombie means You know zombies, right? So you might have seen Walking Dead, everything. Zombie means they are dead. I mean, you don't call them dead, neither you call them alive. They're like zombies. Same way. Neither it can die itself, nor doesn't have nor has a parent to instruct it. So it's like zombie process. So these processes are very dangerous to system. So when you execute the top command, you see the zombie processes. If you have more than one zombie, then you need to identify and kill that process. If there is no harm killing zombie processes. You know, right? Because killing zombies is good. They're neither dead nor humans, nor live. That's what the PS commands and top commands and the kill also, right? So we want to see the kill as well. So kill is a command to kill the processes. Okay. Now let's say I'm here. So I'm going to run my command in the background, which is the ampersand. It's running in background. Okay. If I say ps minus af grep for sleep, there is a command running for sleep, and the process ID is 5188. Okay. Now I'm going to kill this. Kill minus 9. Okay. 5188. It got killed. If I say, see, it's gone. I mean, see, it's not giving you the details. It was running. We killed with the command -9. -9 is forceful. So use -9 forceful only if it is needed. Okay. The kill in the process, we use a command called kill. There are some other kills also we have, like pkill. Pkill is like is going to kill the process. Okay. So let's say you are running a Java process. You can do like a pkill Java. It is going to kill all the matching combination of that processes. That is bit danger. You need to know what you're killing, right? That's what the kill command is used for. And then we have like a ssh will cover, and then we have like a normal grep. We covered it, so maybe I'll explain it again. So let's say I have so many files. Okay, I'm going to update some files here. Vim is not there, right? abc.txt1. I'm going to add some file. This is a text sample data, and then I will add another file. I saved it. Okay, so grep, you are going to grep a particular string. So I wanted to look for you want to looking for a specific string. I'm looking for a sample. Where you are looking, I'm looking into all txt files. So it is going to give you abc.txt contains a string called sample data at this line. This is what the syntax is. So grep for this word and you pass the input. Okay, and then you can also do like this also. So now I'm matching two wild characters, so it exists in both files. So grep also has like -i. -i is case insensitive. So Linux is a case sensitive. If it is uppercase, it has to be uppercase. If it's a lowercase, it has to be lowercase. Okay. So to text this, let's look for a this. So this exists only in one file, but I can see this here also in abc.txt file. It is not finding here. The reason behind is it is a case sensitive. If you want to make it insensitive, then you need to make a -i parameter. So now it matches. Okay. So if you want to reverse match, give me all the lines that doesn't match this. See, there are so many lines. So -v means reverse match. Okay. That's what the grep is used for. And then we have like a date. Date will give you the local date time. We can also use a calendar to see that. And then you have like a uptime. Uptime is going to give you since when the machine is running, since how long the machine has been running. Okay. And then we have like some uname. So uname is going to give you the details about your file name, your operating system, everything. If you want to know more about the same is also available inside the cat Red Hat release. In case if someone wanted to know what type of Red Hat machine they are working, you can also execute this command. Okay, if someone asks you to give the more information about the memory information, you will be looking at the proc. Proc is a location. If you do meminfo, this contains all the memory information. This I may not understand that. If you are like memory expert, you can see all this, understand. The same information you can get it here as well, like CPU information. This will give you all the possible combination of CPUs. How many CPUs you have? Only 0 means one CPU you have. Okay, and this information. Okay, that's what it is. And another command is a df. Df is disk free. So disk free is going to give you how much disk is free in your machine. So we must be seeing this in a company quite often. They say, hey, I'm running out of disk space. The command you execute is dfh. So if you don't understand these numbers, you can do df minus h, which is human readable format. This will give you in a bytes, gigabytes, kilobytes, something. So you have like a 7.9 GB, out of which 22% is used. This is what the df minus h is. And then you also have another command, disk usage. This is say disk free, how much is free. This say how much is used. They both go quite same, but there are a lot of difference. Okay, disk free is give you on the disk side, and the disk usage we can also work on the files folder level as well. So if you want to know how much my test directory is used, it says 0. It says permission denied because it is owned by the test user. If I do sudo du test, it gives 0. So if you create a use file, so let me create a test. Okay, it's there already. Make a director sample, go inside the sample. So let's download one file here. Okay, download a tgz file. Okay, I know this, I have this here. Okay, so let's go ahead and download one file. This is my file. Okay, so I'm just copy the link. The command to download any files is curl. Curl is the command we use to download or upload any files to a website. Okay, we can also use wget as well, but curl is more popular because it has so many options. So curl, and then you give your location of the file to download, the -o, like output file name, what output file name you wanted to give. Okay, but if you don't want, you can also give capital O. Capital O means whatever the file name is at the ending, it gets created. See, I'm downloading it, it is downloading. So if you want to download any stuff from the internet or the application provided web, then you will be using this. See, I have the data now. Okay, so if you wanted to check the disk usage, disk u, and then sample. If you don't understand this, you would be using -h, 396 MB. So this disk usage means this directory has used this much of space. This is what the disk usage command is used for. So disk usage will also have so many other options. So let's say you wanted to go to like a var. Okay, we have so many directories. Now you want every directory size. So you can also use the same du command. So since it is owned by root, I'll be using sudo command here, sudo -h. Okay, so it is giving you all the directories inside directory, inside and the file. But it is clumsy, right? So if you want to give one, then I use du -h. Okay, max depth. So how depth you wanted to go? I need to use a sudo. See, it only gives you the max depth. One depth means you have so many files here, right? So you have cache, and cache has BPF, and then cache has DNF, and then it has another directory, and then another data. So it doesn't go this depth. It just only go one level up, only till here only. That's called max depth. It cannot go further. So from here, it is going to perform du command on all this and then give you the size. This is what the size is. You see? So games 0 directory, lib has 129 megabytes, log has 512, cache dot 179. So cache dot 179. So you have just seen cache here, right? So cache, 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 cache. So all this together, so till cache. So all this together is summed up and then gave us the details. 179 MB. That's what the max depth option we use it. Okay, clear? Or you can also use minus S as well here. Minus S is summary. So overall, the var directory size 308 MB. You see, that's what the du and dh commands. Now, what else we have? The important commands, free tar. So we know the tars, right? So we just downloaded one tar file here. If I go back to my sample, this is RPM. So let's say you have multiple files. Okay, I'm going to come out of this, create a directory called like, let me delete this sample and then create directory called sample. Go inside the sample. Okay, let's create some files, abc.txt, element.txt, xyz.txt. So how many files we have now here? Totally 3 files, right? Hello.
Yes.
So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to perform a command here. So if you wanted to zip these 3 commands, so tar is a command that we use, minus z. This is called the zip. I'm zipping it. Okay. C means create. I'm creating it. F means forceful. So I'm creating a tar file. What is the file name? Okay, I would say my files dot tgz. This is the format you need to put. It's a tar gun zip, we call it, or you can also use this one as well, dot tar dot gz. But generally you will see people using now tgz. And what files you wanted to zip? abc.txt, you wanted to add it to the zip, and then element.txt and xyz.txt. So these 3 files now will be zipped and created this file here. If I do ls minus l here, see, now these 3 files together created a tar file. Got it? So now let me move this file to /tmp, which is like one level back. I go here. Now I'm going to extract this file. Okay, to extract the same command, tar minus z, because it's a gun zip. Now I'm extracting. So x. F means forceful. V means verbose. It is going to give me the verbose information. So which file you want to extract? My files are tgz. See what happened? Is extracted abc element xyz. So it looks like V is not, I don't know why. V verbose should give the details. That's fine. See, it extracted. This is what the command we use for the tar. And then wget, as I told you, wget is the command that we actually use to download the stuff as well. Let's say we have wget, we don't have wget commands. Okay, now how am I going to install a packages? Can you tell me what is the command we use to install the packages? Can someone?
RPM.
RPM command. Okay, and then which command we use to install packages? Anyone? For Red Hat. Kumar, Vijay, Tejaswini, Priyanka, Nag, Adavi. No, we use which command? Yum command. RPM is like your package manager, Red Hat package manager. Yum is like package that manager tool. So RPM is, that is a file you will be compressing it. So let's say you have like a TGZ file. What does TGZ means? TGZ means it is like a tar file, TXT file, zip file, right? Same way, if you write your code and then compile them and zip them together, compress them together, and put extension called .rpm, it means it is like a Red Hat package manager. So that package can be installed in an operating system that supports the Red Hat, right? Same way, if you talk about Windows, you have .exe or .msi. So exe means executable. So that if you execute it, it is going to install some program for you. That is what the executable file is. The same concept here as well, .rpm. So typically, in a, if you generally go to a restaurant, okay, you ask for a chicken biryani, right? So what he will give you? He'll give you chicken biryani. He also give you some raita, right? He also give you some water. You asked only for biryani, but he gave you all these. Even if you ask for idli, he's going to give you chutney and sambar together. Why? Because the idli goes with those two, right? It's needed. That's what the difference between RPM and the yum. RPM is idli is 1 RPM, sambar is 1 RPM, chutney is 1 RPM. So you can actually order individually. I want 2 idlis. He just give you 2 idlis. But what do you do with idlis? You need some combination with it, right? To make it work, make it a good breakfast. That's what the M does for you. So M is, it identifies. If you ask for idli, hey, he asked for idli. So I need to give him sambar and chutney as well. So M is going to download those 2 remaining packages as well. If someone asks for a puri, then he also give you puri with a different chutney, Bombay chutney or whatever it is, right? The same way with the yum. So yum is going to install all the required dependencies automatically for you so that your program that you are looking for gets executed successfully. Okay, so you ordered the idli, right? You got idli, sambar and chutney. So one idli is not properly cooked. You say, hey, can you replace this idli? So what you will do now? You just want to replace one idli, right? You're not going to again get a sambar, get a chutney separately. In that case, we use only RPM packages. So RPM means I already have dependencies, but I just want my package only to be installed, not all the packages. So in our use case, we just downloaded this guy, right? This is called RPM, Red Hat Package Manager. Okay, so you can install this. So to run this, what you need a Java. So if you use yum install, maybe it is going to get the Java also installed successfully with this. That's what the difference between RPM and a yum. Okay, but in generally, we always use a yum for Red Hat. If you are working on a Ubuntu or Debian, we use like a apt-get or apt. Okay, remember that. So now let's go ahead and install a package. To install the package, you need to use a command called yum install wget. If you execute it, it is going to throw you error because only the admin can make changes to your machine. Only the property owner are allowed to make changes to structure to the house. So that's why you need to use a sudo yum install wget. So it is now going to Red Hat subscribe manager. So, and then it is asking you, you see, installing wget. Perfect. So this is the wget package. To run this wget successfully, you need dependency called libmetal-link. Say installing dependencies. You order the idli, so they also give you chutney because you just cannot eat the idli. See, you have dependency also getting installed. So it dissolves dependencies. And the good thing about this is the version also. So 1.19 version is compatible with this library and this version. So if you are trying to install the lower version of wget, then the higher version dependencies may not be compatible, right? That's why the yum we always use so that it can resolve the dependencies automatically for us. So when I say yes now, it is going to install both packages for me. See, it installed wget, it installed lib. See, it first installed the lib and then wget. Why? Because to install wget, this is mandatory. Okay, now I can use the wget command. Same wget and then this is a link. Copy the link address here and then paste it. That's what it is. Wget is. See, it got downloaded. Where it is? See here. So wget curl. That's where we use it. And then we have like a find command. So what is the find command? If you wanted to look for the file that actually matches the file name. So maybe you're looking for a file that has a name called like something. Then you can use a command called find. Okay, from where you wanted to start. You want to start from the root or you want to start from current directory. So dot slash represents the current directory. Remember this, dot slash represent the current working directory. That is a dot slash. Okay, and the slash means it's a root, which is a top level. You want to look in a TMP, this looks from slash TMP. Okay, but I want to look from current here, and the file name is, file name may contain txt. Okay, if you hit the enter, what happened? Okay, I need to put them in a quotation. See, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 files matching with txt. This is how you look for it. Now you can also pass some more parameters to it. So minus m time, modified time. I want the file names that are modified more than 30 days. So you are trying to look for a file that has a txt in it and the file m time, modified time is older than 30 days. I mean 30 days ago. Let me use a sudo command. Okay, sudo. So there are no files available. If I say modified 1 day ago, no files because we just created those files today, right? Maybe let's use the same command in the var directory /var, and the file pattern should be txt. We don't have any. So let me remove the file pattern here. I will look for all the files that are modified 10 days ago. See, there are these many files. These many files are modified 10 days ago. If you want to check it, let's check this. Okay, I do ls sudo ls -l paste, and you see March 25. Today is June. It's almost like close to a month, right? That's why it 10 days ago. So this command we use in a company. The people say that you will be having application that is generating so many log, and there is a log rotation happening. Log rotation means whenever a log file reaches 5 MB, it automatically archived. It is going to create a TGZ file so that it is more than 5 MB. And you can also have per date. So whenever the clock changes, the log file gets zipped and the new log file gets created. That is called the log rotation is. Okay, so now you want to delete the files that are older than 30 days. Same command, find /var. Okay, you are looking for a file pattern, so maybe like all star.log txt files, log files, and then modified time older than 30 days, -- delete. So what it does is find, look for all the files matching with .log extensions older than 30 days. So this will give you all the file names that are older than 30 days. -- delete will delete those files. Okay, that's what the find command is used for. Any doubts so far, guys? Bharat, Kumar, Madhavi, Manaswini, Nag, Naveen, Priya, Rohan, Sunil, Tejaswini, Vijay.
Hey, I am following. I'm following.
Yeah, Lokesh, I'm following.
Cool. So feel free to come up with the doubts. Okay. Don't be just listening and
No.
focusing on something else. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now we are going to step into very, very important discussion. And I want every one of you to pay 100% focus because this is very interaction. You will be using this in various tools. Okay. That is marrying two servers together. Okay. Now we are going to integrate two servers together with SSH. Okay. Now I am going to open up another session. So I have a machine. So I'll spin up a new machine here. I would say this as a target. Okay. And then I'll use the Ubuntu and Red Hat, sorry. And then same free tier. Key pair is my key pair. So if you're joining this class for the first time, we have covered this session in the first class. So I'll be sharing the video. Please feel free to follow it so that you'll understand what we are doing here. Okay. And then I'll choose my group as a 4 and then launch instance. So now I have two machines. So one machine and another machine. Now I am going to integrate these two together. So from my Linux machine, I wanted to log into this box. I want to copy some files from here to here. So we will be using a SSH integration. So password, we call it as passwordless authentication. Passwordless means you don't provide the password to authenticate between these two. This is what we do the integration. Not only just between the servers, we can also do it to do the integration between the Jenkins and the Jenkins agents, and then Jenkins and your GitHub, and then other applications as well. So there are various ways to use this. So now I have two machines ready. I'm going to spin up this machine in a different shell so that you can easily see the difference. Okay, so I have my source here and then I have my target here. Okay. Clear. Let me log into my new box, which is EC2 user. See, this is ending with 194. This is ending with 191. Two different machines, right? Right. So now I am going to connect from this box to this box. So before going to connect, let me go to the home directory. Okay. And I want to connect to this box. So since this machine and this machine in a same network, I don't need to use the public address, rather I use the private address. Okay, I copy the private API of my target and then do the command ssh ec2 user, because ec2 user is here. Sorry, ssh ec2 user at the target. So everyone focus, ssh ec2 user. When I hit the enter, it is asking for some connecting. You want to yes or no? I say yes. And then it says permission denied. The permission is denied. Why? Because you are trying to connect a server and it is not authorized. Nobody is able to enter my house. This is my house, right? Somebody's trying. This is a hacker. It says permission denied. Now I wanted to allow these two. To do that, we need to first generate a key. What is a key? So generally in our old, if you talk about our in India, old school, right? So what you have a lock and you have a key. So if I annotate it, so you have like a lock, okay? And then you have a key, right? So this lock will only be opened with this key, right? If I have another key, can I open with this key? Can I open generally?
No.
No, why? Because so this lock and this key are one combination. So this lock can only be opened with this key only. So you cannot use another key to open it, right? So these two are a pair. We call them pair. The same way Since we don't have this physical locking mechanism, we use some algorithm, some encryption to create a key pair, which we call them as a private key and the public key. Private key and the public key. So as name says, so private means it has to be kept private. The public means it is a public, anybody can use it. Now let's generate one key combination here. The command will be ssh hyphen keygen minus t rsa. What I'm doing, ssh key generation, token type is rsa token, remote secure authentication. Okay, hit the enter. It is going to ask you some information. Hey, am I going to generate a key at this location? This is the default location of where a key can be generated for every user. So if I run this command as a test user, my key will be created in /home/test user.ssh and then id rsa. So since I don't have a key there, I hit the enter. Now it is also passphrase. Passphrase is another layer of security. So you have a key and the lock. Even though you put the key inside your lock and turn it, it won't open. It is going to ask you some other mode of authentication. Maybe you need to now enter the key with a 4-digit password. Maybe. There is another layer here, passphrase. So you will be giving one more secret text, like the sky is blue, the ocean is big, kind of a secret text. So whenever you give the secret text in matches, then only it opens up the door. But in our use case, we don't need it. I say not again. I don't want it. See now my RSA 3072 encryption, it's got created. So where the key created? In this location. So you see it created here, it created here. So we call them as a private key and we call it as a public key. The public key will have a .pub ending. So do not try to share this private key with anyone. If you share accidentally, if you publish accidentally to your GitHub repositories, then people can hack machines. So you can post this, you can give it to anyone, public key. Okay, now let's read my public key. Where it is inside .ssh. So is it user.ssh? And then I'm going to look for the files. See, I have idrasa.pub here. It got created just now. If you see date, 216, 215, 215. Right? So now I am going to read my .pub file. This is the public key. I am copying this. So now this public key can be shared with anyone now. Anyone can share to anyone. So now I'm sharing my public key with this server because I wanted to marry these two. This is the source, this is the target. The source can enter into my target. To allow this automatically, what we need to do, we need to know someone, right? So if you know a house, you cannot randomly enter the house, right? You need to know someone in the house, right? So even if you want to go to your friend's house, why? Because it's your friend's house, you know someone in the house. So similarly, you should be having one account that you know of. So I know EC2 user. So I'm going to inform EC2 user that, hey, if I come from this server, allow me. To do that, the EC2 user, he will be having a directory called .ssh. Okay. And then there is a file called authorized keys. Remember, the spelling should be same. AUTHORIZED_keys, plural. So in this file, he needs to add that key. Okay. So I just copied the file here and then I'm pasting it here. And then quit. So once he saves successfully, now let's give a try. Same command, SSH. Yeah, SSH EC2 user, this IP address, see 191 IP address, right? If I do hit the command, you see last login. Now where I am, 191. I was 194. So when I run this command, now I am able to successfully log in to this server, and you see the shell is 191. So technically, I remote in to this server. This is what the SSH is used for. So this is the way how you integrate the servers. Okay, so if I create a file here, so touch hacked, then if I do here, so it created where, in which location, home EC2 user. I go to home with cd command. If I say ls-l, you see hack.txt created. Because technically you are on same server. This is how we remotely log in to the servers. Okay, now exit is a command where you exit it. Okay, now in this server we also have a user called test user, right? We just created. So now I am a test user. So now I married this server and this server together, right? Now let me execute the same command. What happens now? I will be able to connect to this box, right? Hello.
Yes.
Okay, let's try. It says connecting. I say yes. It says permission denied. The reason why is, so we created a key combination, and that key combination exists inside the home EC2 user. It means this key belongs to user EC2 user. Only EC2 user is authorized to log into this server. But now I am a test user, right? Test user will also have his own user keys, but his keys are not configured in the target server, so he cannot use it. It is like per user basis and per key basis. So this user has a key ID RSA at here. This is his private location. He is able to access it. So test user is not. Again, if you want to let test user also access this, you need to generate the key and then put it into authorized keys file. Okay, that's what we use SSH key to combine these two. Clear? Any doubts? Any doubts?
No.
Right. So now let's see. I'll give you one more example now. So you guys are sure, right? So now we are able to log in with the EC2 user from here to here. So before I reproduce an error, let me try this. See, I'm trying again from 194. I'm trying to 191. I logged in, right? I do exit now. I can come from my black terminal to red terminal because I married. When married, these two means this guy can also reach this guy, right? Technically. Well, let's give a try with this. So I'll be copying the private IP of my source. Okay. From source to target, I went into. Now let me try same from target to source. I'm in 195, 191. I'm going to 194. It's asking for key host matching. I say yes. It says permission denied. Why? Because we just married these two, right? I can come from my source to target, but my target cannot go to my source.
The key pair is not there in this.
Exactly. So as I told you, the key pair is always unique, globally unique. You cannot duplicate the key pair ever and never. So we had only one key pair. So private key in this box with this user. And then this public key is copied here. So he can enter. But if someone from this server talk to this server, then again, they have to generate the key, use the same key, and then copy the public key here so that now you can also go from target to server, because he also has his own key combination, right? That's what the keys are used for in a company. Clear? So now I have another use. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I said yes.
Okay. So now another use case. So again, I'm telling you, this is very important. Now another use case. So EC2 user has his own key, right? But there is a use case that all the people in a department, they need to log in. So if you have 100 people, then you need to generate 100 keys, and then 100 public IPs. Public keys should be copied in the target. That is a pain, right? Who will copy 100 keys? It's not worth doing it. So to avoid that use case, what you could do, you can generate a
Group.
shared key. So to do that, ssh keygen -t कौन कहले तक रे keygen rsa. So it is asking me the default I am generating here. If you hit the exit, it says it already exists. So whenever you see this error message, do not try to overwrite it unless you are sure, because already we have this key combination being used for this server, right? If you overwrite it, the key gets changed and then you won't be able to do that. Okay, I say no. Now I am going to run the same command. Rather, I give a path /tmp new key. Passphrase, no passphrase. So my new key is now generated here. Okay, now I want everyone to use this key from this server. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll use the copy /tmp new.pub. I copied this. Okay, now I go to the EC2 user. It will be in .ssh and authorized keys. Oh. So I'll copy it again, the new public key here. I save this. Okay, now I go to /tmp. This is my key, right? I'm using this key now, ssh -i new. -i means use this identity file, this private key, not the default one. If you don't mention this, then the default will be considered. The default will be user's home directory .ssh id _ rsa. That is the default if you don't mention this. But now I'm saying, hey, ssh, use this identity file. So where you want to go? You want to go to EC2 user, and the IP address will be this guy. See, it got connected, right? Now let me come out, right? So this is the private key. Now let me grant the group also access. Okay, I'll send ch owner EC2 user : HR the group new. Not permitted. I just make sudo. See, now it's owned by HR. Group doesn't have any privileges. So let me go ahead and modify this. So I want group also has read, write both. We can give this way also, but generally we don't recommend. What we do, we always octal. So read and write, which is 6. I want group to 6, others to 0, new. See, now let me switch as a test user. Now I am a test user, right? I go to the /tmp. I am also part of the HR group, so I have access to. I use same ssh -i new EC2 user at, and this is the IP address.
You can copy from right?
Yeah, this is the. You see, now I'm connected. See, test user with this identity file able to connect to my server. So now you see, so this group of people, now they can use this key. Again telling you, the private key should be kept secret. We shouldn't be disclosing it to anyone. So this is how we share a key file between the multiple users. Okay, that's what the keys. This is really important. Really important. I'm telling you, you may be using it quite long time. So if you want to go advanced and understand it. So what we did in the first class, we created the same command ssh-keygen -t rsa. It gave us public key and the private key. We have taken a public key and imported that public key into our key pairs with my laptop. Then whenever you spin up a new machine, you're asking AWS to use my key pair. Where is the key pair? Then what AWS does is, while it creating the virtual machine for you, it is going to copy your public key into this file. See, this is the first key file that it was there. Where it is. So my laptop, you see. That's why you are able to SSH into it. This is what it does in behind. So now we know the command. We have added this guy and we've added this guy. This is belongs to only EC2 user and this belongs to only the HR group. You can add as many as you want. Okay, that's what the keys here. Perfect. So I hope you understood really well. If you don't understand, please try to watch and execute the commands, whatever I have done, because this is really important. That's what the SSH is used for. And then what else we have? So SSH, yeah, if you want to copy a file from this server to this server, so what you need to do, let me go back to EC2 user. Okay, so if you want to copy a file, so let me download this file again. I'll copy link address. So I use wget, that is very quick. So if you wanted to copy a file from this server to this server, what we need to do is we need to use the command. The command will be scp secure copy. Since we already shared the keys, then it is good, it will work. scp where which file, like similar copy what we do, we have like a source here and then we have a destination, right? Same options, but we use a command called scp. scp means secure copy. We need to give the source. Where is our source? This is my source. Where is my target? But my target is now a remote server. So what I need to do, I need to give user at which, where he is. He's in this server, right? 172.31.93.191. Where you want to copy, colon, in /tmp. This is the syntax. So scp, this is my source file, target EC2 user at this server, colon, at this location. If you hit the enter, see, it gets uploading. You see, 45%, 60%, 70%. If you do ls minus l/tmp, say, you will see the file here available. This is uploading file from one server to another server. Now, if you want to download from this server to this server, what you need to do? Tell me the command. By looking at this command, same. rm-rf, I remove the Jenkins. I want scp. Okay, where is your source? My source is at this location. So it is under EC2 user at this server at this location /tmp, and the file name is this. Okay, now source is done. where you want me to copy destination, copy in current directory, that is /. Hit the enter, see the downloading now.
So
If you
here,
do L,
yeah, we are doing operation of other instance in other, I mean, from other, right?
where this is uploading. So SCP means this is my source, this is target. So
Okay.
source is my file, target is actually not the local server, rather remote server, and then this location.
Yeah.
If you want to download, same, you need source and destination. The source will be my target server,
Got it.
destination my local server.
And like in real time, we use this for deployments or transfer.
Yes.
Mm.
So we do continuous deployments, right? If you want to deploy your package from one server to another server, this is the command. There you go.
Mm.
Then in a Jenkins, right? So Jenkins, if you want to deploy something, so what you need a passwordless authentication. How do you do passwordless authentication? You need to generate a key. So since Jenkins is like a shared, so you will be creating a shared key, right? And the shared key will be used to copy. So you can, if you want to use the shared key, the same command you can do, but here you just need to use -i. Where your key file is, this is the key file, that's it. So now SCP command will use this identity file to connect to this server. It has got some protection error. The reason behind this, you know why? Bad permissions. Bad permissions means if you go to /tmp, so new exists into multiple people can access it. Private key is private, right? It should be private, but you see, your group also has access. That's why owner is complaining. Hey, owner complains that hey, dude, looks like your file is wide open. So again, if you change the permissions to 600, then it works. Okay. Okay. So as a troubleshooting step, I have seen this many people who struggles with this command. Okay. So let me give you a troubleshooting scenario how I have seen this issue in a company. Okay. So let me just give 2 minutes, 1 minute. Let me get up some water. Okay. I'll grab water and come back. Don't go there. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a quick. Nadra Kaba. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Hey. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, troubleshooting steps, right? So this you will definitely see when you have a troubleshooting scenarios. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new key again. So the key will be SSH. Maybe no. Yeah. So let me switch to a test user. Okay. Test user. I go inside .sh. It doesn't have a key. Okay. Let me generate a new key here. SSH keygen -t RSA. Boom boom boom. Then I got the key. I'll copy this public key .pub, right? I have copied this public key. Now in my target, I'm going to create a new user account called user add same. I will create test. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this public key here. Okay. So let me copy this public key here. To do that, what I need to do, I need to go inside the user home directory .ssh. Oh no, sorry. I need to go to the test user, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm in a test user. I'll list it. I don't have any account. So I'm in .ssh. I create a directory called .ssh because it is not there. and then I go inside .ssh. I need to create the authorized keys file. Authorized keys. Now let me copy this file. I copied it, saved it. Okay, so I have the file here and I have the directory here. Now let's go ahead and try to run it. So what is the command? Same, ssh, sorry, not ssh, it's to user at 172.31.93.191. What it says? Permission denied. We just copied it, right? See, we have .ssh here. I go .ssh and I see the file and I see the authorized. It has a public key,
User.
but why it is not working?
Authorized keys.
We used test user account, not the EC2 user.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, let's try the test user account. Same. So you are seeing it, right? This is important, guys. So test user account. Still it says me the error. So we had a one issue, we fixed it, but still I'm getting the same user.
Keys issue now.
No, we just copied the key, right? Key is here. I can see the key.
Maybe
Are
permission.
you? Exactly.
Keys.
So if you look, it is authorized key, not keys. I told you
Yeah.
plural, right?
Yeah.
So how do you move the file? Authorized keys to authorized keys.
Keys.
Now let's give a try. Oops, still failing. Why? Because you have permissions wide open. The permission shouldn't be wide open. Authorized keys file should be 600. Okay, only the user should have read write. Now let's give a try again. Man, again failing. Now I go one up and then see. See .ssh. It also has a wide permissions open. We need to give 700 to that. Now 700. Now let's give a try. There you go. We connected. See how many attempts? 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts. So we had 4 problems with our key setup. Then we were able to successfully execute. In the first case, I used wrong user. I rectified. In the second case, I found the authorized keys name was misspelled. I fixed it. Then permissions to authorized keys file. Then permissions to .ssh, and then we fixed it. So generally, I have seen 90% of the people do this mistake. They create the files with misspelling and they update the permissions and they say keys are not working, and they go panic. Okay, so there are places where you can rectify these. Okay, clear? So we create the user, right? If you want to set a password for this user, then you need to use a command called sudo passwd and the user account. We didn't cover this. I'm just telling you. So sudo passwd is the command to set the password for a user account called test. New password. That's it. Password is set. So if you want to connect to this user using password, switch user -u test, password asking for test. Say I logged in successfully. Okay, that's what the password set is. So now we covered about this user account SSH integrations. So do you guys have any doubts?
Yeah, I have one
Uh,
doubt.
yeah,
So,
go ahead.
like, in my company, we are doing manual deployments in JBoss server. So
Uh-huh.
I'm logging into each and every server
Mhm.
So without giving each and every server details, like can we do the command mode like here how
Yeah,
we are?
you can. You can. So what you can do, right? So you have a file. So let's say this is your deployment file. Okay, that you need to deploy. So you will be writing a deploy.sh file. Uh,
Yeah,
it means
that one
Mhm.
scripting is okay.
Okay.
But like how we are, I mean, connecting from one server to another server, like here.
Yeah, so we need to copy the SSH keys.
Oh,
So whichever server
I mean,
you have the file.
we already have keys, right? Maybe we need to integrate the keys and then we can do it.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So what I generally do, if I am in your place, I'll be writing a like simple shell script. Okay, I need to download the key file first, right? I would say downloading the private key file if it is in remote location. If it is not, I'll be using curl command to download it. So if it is already available in a local server, okay, I know my key file location is. So I would say key path. I'll be putting where my key file is. Then this is my key file. Okay, and then I'll be writing my file to deploy. So which file I am going to deploy it. So this is the file that I will be deploying. Okay, my servers. So which server you wanted to deploy to. So you will be putting your server details here like 10.10.10.10 space 10.10.10.11 space 10.10.10.12. Let's say we have 3 servers to deploy. So if I want to deploy it, I'll be looping them for server in dollar my servers.
We'll do
Okay,
this
to
and we will just
uh-huh,
run this script.
that's it. So scp minus I key path, and then you need to copy the source. This is the file name, and the target. Target will be you have a user account, right? So you will be giving like a target user is equal to VAS. Let's say VAS is the user account. Okay, you will be having here like a dollar target user at the server, which is like a dollar my underscore servers colon where you want to copy. You may be copying in here dollar f name. That's it. So if you want to verify whether the previous command executes successfully or not, then you will be using dollar equal to 0, then echo successfully deployed into dollar target, sorry, my servers. Sorry, not the my server here, it's a server. That's it. Else, then I would say fail to deploy to. That's it. Fig. And then done. Done. That's it. This is your deployment script.
Okay.
It will deploy to 3 servers one by one. So now we don't know the scripting, but at least we know this thing, right? So the command. So scp key file name, source, and the target. Okay, so that's how you could do it. So we know that we need to install some.
So
Sorry.
how do you know that the scripting what we are doing is working accordingly or not? I mean,
Yeah, you have to enhance based on your need. So if I were you, so I have this command. This command gets executed successfully or not, I'll come to know with the return code. This command return code is stored in this variable $. If it is successfully executed, then I know this is successfully deployed. If not, I'll be printing this. So in another shell, we can also run another command here also if you want. So like this. So you will be same ssh minus I. You will be using like your key path. Okay, and then you will be using your target underscore user at $server. You mention here space and then run the command ls minus l / opt $f name. Now what this guy does is ssh this key path. This is the file. So if you pass here with the quotation, now this command will be executed on this server. So what I'm doing, so once my SCP is successfully copied, then I am executing a ls command on the remote host. So this will give me the list of this file, right? If it exists, then it prints me. If it doesn't exist, then it doesn't print. So if this command is successful and I can see the output, that means my file is copied over there. This way you can also confirm.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah. There are multiple ways. You can also run the application over there. You can execute the curl with the local host to see your application is up or not. There are various ways based on
There
the
are
application.
200 lines of our scripting, right?
Yeah, it is. It will be there. It will be more actually.
And execute line by line.
You can execute. You need to enable the debug mode, but it is not recommended.
Okay.
Yeah, for your testing purpose, you can do. You can see like which line is getting executed now, but you have to hit all the enter one by one.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to see for testing purpose.
Locally, you can do.
Yeah.
So we will probably cover this in a batch scripting
Okay.
the next class tomorrow. Okay. So we have these commands. So now another important stuff is ping. So ping is a command to see whether my target server exists or not. This is the command we use that my target server is responding or not. This is called the heartbeat. Okay. We don't have ICMP protocol open. That's why you're not getting the response. And then another command is a telnet. Telnet is a command which we use to see whether the port is opened or not. Okay, so port means, so port here is nothing but a door to enter into the house. A door. So if you have a big house, if you want to enter into the house, you have two ways. One is the main entrance, another one is backyard. We have two doors, right? So doors have to be open if someone have to enter. The same way, virtual machine will also have a ports. That is a port where you can enter. The reason why I use port is in old days, if you want to enter from one continent to another continent, you have to, of course, use a sea route, right? And they have a port there. So in airport also we call porting is done. It means we just finished our porting here, so we came here. Similarly, same way. Port means you have to open up a port, and that port is numbered 22, 443, 80, 80, 80, like that. So to confirm whether this door, this machine is able to open the connectivity or not on that port, we use a command called telnet. Telnet is very old, not nowadays uses now. The new command is nmap. Okay, let's see if I have an nmap here. Nmap is not there. Let's install. What is the command? Sudo yum install. Minus y means I'm approving by default, and install the nmap command. So see, nmap is installing these packages, ncat as well. So it installed. Now the command will be nmap. Okay, the server is like 172.31.93.191 minus p is a port, 22 port. It says open SSH port. So let's try a different port called 80. 80 is closed. You see, 80 is not open. So nobody is able to enter this box on port 80. Why? Because it is closed. So how I can open the port? We'll discuss that in a AWS. So this is the command you will be executing as a troubleshooting step. If someone says, hey, I cannot connect to my target server, the first troubleshooting step you do this nmap to confirm whether the port is open or not. If it is not open, then you will ask them to open up a firewall request. If it is open, you will see like this, open. That's the nmap is. Okay, and then we have like some installing a service. So let's say you wanted to route a traffic. Okay, in my target server, I am installing an application, sudo yum install my applications server, that is httpd. Is like a web server. So httpd requires all these libraries. You see, if I use rpm command, I need to install this rpm with this version, this rpm with this version, this rpm with this version. Now it comes by default. I install these packages. Okay, now this is my application server. This actually gives me my website. Okay, to run this website as a service, then I need to use a command called systemctl. systemctl, okay, start httpd. It is going to start my httpd website. Then I'm able to access my website. To see the status, sudo systemctl status httpd. It says running here. It means my website is running. This is what defines whether your website up or not. This is a long running process. If you want to see it, you can also see ps minus af here, grep minus I httpd. You see, this is the command I ran, and see all the processes are running in foreground. So now my website is up and running. Let's go ahead and access this. So I need to go to my EC2 console here. I go back to my EC2s running here. This is my website, my public IP address. Okay, now I go ahead and access my website. See, it is up and running. This is my website. So if you want to change the website, then what you could do, you can actually go ahead and change your website here. So let me go as a sudo. I become a root now. Sudo /etc/htdpd. You will see all the configuration files sitting in etc directory. Okay, so I'm going here. I have like a conf directory here. So not conf. I'll probably go to the confd directory and I have welcome.conf here. This configuration file contains my index page here. This is the HTML page, my website HTML page survey. This is the data. So now let me go ahead and edit this file. I'll copy this and then I'll remove this data and then I will add my new tags here, HTML tags body. This will be like, I'll use like a title here. Title will be like a demo. I'm closing my HTML tags here, and then first header will be like hello friends, and then I'm closing my tag, and then I have like closing my body tag, and then I have closing my HTML tag. Okay, I saved this. Now let's go ahead and route my traffic. See, hello friends, I got my website. This is my website. So HTTPD default gives you one website, but this guy, my website now. So this is my website. So let's say someone accidentally happened. So they stop the service, sudo systemctl stop HTTPD. They stop the long running process. It means they kill that process. Now let's go ahead and try to see if I can able to access. See, it's down. Why? Because the process is not running. How can you check? ps minus eaf grep minus I HTTPD. See, I don't see any process running. This is my command. Nothing is running. So to do the service systemctl status HTTPD, it is dead, inactive. That's why website is down. Again, how can you bring it? Sudo systemctl start HTTPD. There you go. My website is back up and running. This is what the small systemctl you will be using. So systemctl is a command that we use to start and stop the services. So technically, if you want to go advanced, like Linux administrators, and you want to go advanced, so you can also have your own service created. And you see, this is a service file. This service file has the instructions like which process to trigger and all. So that's why your application is actually running continuously. See, it contains the information. You need description, wants, blah, 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 something. So you can also create your own service file and then create it. And you see, this is the start. Whenever someone says start, I'm going to run this command. When someone say reload, I'm going to run this. This is a bit advanced. You don't need to worry. Just remember the command systemctl that we use to start and stop the services. You can also use the restart. Okay, there is one more command also available, sudo systemctl enable httpd. The enable here means, so whenever your virtual machine is restarted, then all the processes, they don't start automatically. So if you want your service to be started automatically whenever your virtual machine is restarted, then we need to enable that service. So now what happens? Whenever my VM is restarted, my this service also starts along with the virtual machine. That's why we use the enable here. Okay, that's what your thing. So any questions so far? Any questions so far?
Yeah, why we use no hub?
Yes, so no hub. So now we know. So let's say I have like okay, is 191, right? So let me connect to 191 server very quickly. Come on. Why? See, I connected to server, right? So sleep 100 is going to run in a foreground, right? But if you want to run them in a background, you need to use sleep 100 under ampersand is running in background. If I say ps, I have this command, right? If I exit this, so I'm in both servers, right? So let me do ps minus EAF, ps minus EAF grep sleep. I have a sleep command running. So if I exit out of this shell and then if I execute it, the command is still running because it is running in a background, right? So sometimes what happens, if you logged into your shell and then you come out, right? It will be like you shell only. The moment the shell is dies, it is gone. The command will be stopped. But no hub is used to run in the server background, like on the virtual machine in the root itself. So that will be like a permanent sleep 100 ampersand. So this will completely run in the server's background. So even though if you kill this session, you logged out of your session, your user is deleted. So this command will be running in the server. So this will impact only if your virtual machine is started or restarted or stopped. That's why we use a no hub. No hub will be running this command in the server background. Okay, that's what the no hub is used for.
Yeah, so start, you said start and stop commands, right, for application running.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
can we use the start will be doing the same or same like
No,
no?
yeah, the start and stop, they actually run the service command in background and then die. So if I use like a start command here, okay, so let's say i'm going to create I'm going to create a file. One second, I'll just come. 1 second. Hey Rajam, तनो हे करले तक रे हगले तनो डुम्बो तब तब ना एक रे तुझो. Okay, so now I have like a small file a.sh. Okay, so you have your command, so which you will be using bin bash. Okay, so if I use sleep 100 and then run it sh a.sh, your script is stuck there. But if you want to run them in a background, then you will be using a.sh no hub and then you send the output to dev/null. I don't remember the syntax now. Let me. This is the script now. So you will be running your script ./a.sh. So now your command will be running in background. So your script is done. So with HTTPD systemctl start, right, what it does is it is going to run a script that has a instructions that runs the command in the server backend. So that's why the process always running. So you will get your console back here. Even for the stop as well, as issue the stop, it is going to kill that processes, whichever is running. So you ran the shell script, you script back out, but if you do ps minus af grep for sleep, still running in background. If you exit, if you kill this session, still you will have this command running in the server. Clear?
Yeah, got it.
So that's it, I think, for the commands that I wanted to cover. So the only one command is man. So man is actually used like a manual, man ls. So it is going to give you the ls details of a manual page. So what is minus a stands for, minus upper a stands for what, minus l is what, all this detail. So if you want to know more about a command, so if you want to know yum, so man yum, it is going to give you manual of that yum command. And then if you want to know kill, man kill. See, kill has so many options, -1, -n something. Okay, that's what the manual is. And then one more small, which you may not be doing, but I'm telling you. So let's say you have a user called su test, right? Test user, we created it. Okay, now let me try to install the command, install something, sudo yum install httpd here. See what it says, test user is unable to execute sudo commands. Why? Because we have everybody in the company, only few people will have access to the virtual machine. Again, in few people, not everybody can become an admin, right? Because if everybody becomes admin, what happens? They can screw up the machine, right? But in this case, if you want to grant someone to execute sudo commands, then we need to add them to a sudoers file. This is like completely admin. You may not do it, but just know it. Sudoers file. So how do we add the test user capable of executing sudo commands? To do that, you need to become a root. Okay, sudo su minus. Now you become a root here. Okay, you go inside the etc sudoers.d. Okay, here you need to create a file. Still looks like there is a file already. See this file comment, no line comment, and this is the line. So this line is actually giving a UC2 user execute all the commands, no password. Don't ask for the password for all the commands. Now let me do the same here. Okay. Now let me add and same file, one more file here. So touch. So the file name will be like a new user, and then open up the new user, and then add the same content as an EC2 user, add test user, and then save this file, quit. That's it. Now log in back as a test user. Now you should be able to run the any command. See, it did not ask for the password. So that's what. So what we did, we went inside the etc sudos.directory, and then we added a file. No password means it doesn't ask you for the password prompt. If they enable the password, it will ask you to enter the password as well. Okay, that's what the sudoers file is. So far, these are the commands that you will be using as a DevOps engineer in the company. SSH, SCP is a mandatory, and then ls, cat, copy, top, ps, free, du, dh, these are all that you will be doing it as a standard practice. Okay, so any more doubts before we close the class today? Like Naveen, Priya, Rohan, Sunil, Tejaswini, Vijay, Bharat, Kumar, Madhavi, Manaswini. Any doubts?
No, Lokesh.
Hope everybody is understanding. I mean, I see many people are just mute, not talking.
Yeah, Lokesh, don't have any doubts for now. After watching the video again, if you have any doubts, we'll contact.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So that's it for today's class on the Linux operating system. So tomorrow we will be discussing on the bash scripting. Okay, we'll quickly start the bash. So we will be having these many shell scripts that we created long back. So we will be covering all the shell script tomorrow. Okay, we may not go every file, but I'll explain you the concepts. So whenever you find a time, so you can look into these files, try to practice. Okay.
Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Perfect, guys. So let's meet tomorrow, same time, 8 a.m. Central, same link, which is 9 a.m. Eastern.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye,
Okay.
guys. Have a nice weekend.
Thanks, Lokesh.
Bye.